Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host, Trey. I gotta say, just the mere fact that you have clicked onto this video and you're listening to the sound of my voice, you by far are the most intelligent people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you for joining me. We've got to talk about this. It's the reality that many people in this country, and honestly around the globe, feel like they are prisoners to the home that they worked so hard to purchase. Some people are house poor, meaning they spend the majority of their money on a mortgage that they truly can't afford, and living paycheck to paycheck, and they feel like they are constantly underwater. And then you have some who've actually paid their house off, and now the tax liability has made it unaffordable for them to sustain their livelihood. And these are situations that go on all the time, and it needs to be talked about. Now, me personally, I don't feel that way. I do not feel like I am a prisoner to my home. I'm grateful that I was able to purchase a home, but I will admit that this year I had a rude awakening that I was not expecting. And I touched on it in previous discussions where I mentioned how my mortgage insurance skyrocketed this year. And it was alarming because it was a substantial difference between now and previous years. But it was predictable to me. I didn't know to what extent, when, how, what, where, but I knew that when LA fires were going on, I could only conclude with all that devastation that insurance providers were going to find ways to increase rates. Not just for the people in California who were directly affected by the wildfires, but people all over this nation in areas that aren't prone to wildfires or tornadoes or flooding or hurricanes. They were going to increase the rates for everyone to pay for the devastation. I knew that this was going to happen. So maybe you're listening right now and you've got a bill and you've noticed that your mortgage has increased and now you're alarmed, or you just haven't gotten yours yet. But when you receive it, I'm telling you what it possibly is, which is your insurances have gone up when you see this increase. And it's not just for homeowners. It's also for renters. Renters who have insurance, your insurances are going up or likely have already gone up. But there's a headline that I came across that is a part of what was predictable, and the article explains some details about the situation. So State Farm rate hike sparks concerns about affordability impact on housing market. Of course. I heard the numbers being as great as a 50% plus increase for insurance on the home in many states. And as I mentioned, the insurance for my home was a substantial increase, probably about 30%, which is a lot. And so before I even get any deeper into the insurance issue, one thing to remember, because it's been forgotten, so much happens in the course of a year, the news just pivots and begins to discuss something else, and you forget about things that have happened in the past. But the devastation of the LA fires it's immense. And essentially, I don't think we've fully grasped how expensive it will be to rebuild that area. I've come to the conclusion it will take trillions of dollars to rebuild that area. When you think about the cost of materials, the labor, the cost to do paperwork. All of these things cost money. The transportation to get the materials to and fro, all of this costs money, and it's going to take trillions of dollars. I don't think that they're going to be able to successfully rebuild the LA area for at least another 10 to 15 years. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't know where they're going to get the money from anytime soon. And the insurance companies don't have it. See, because the insurance company is going to want to rebuild the home, not for what it was valued at, but at cost. But even still, the amount of money required to do that is substantial. Hence, we've got to raise everybody's insurance price. And God forbid another natural disaster occurs, but we know it's inevitable. Hurricane season is around the corner. And I just heard about an earthquake that took place in Virginia. And the fires are not going to stop anytime soon. We know that the fires are a real issue. So these devastations are making it more expensive for everyone. It's going to make it more expensive for you if you own a home. And so the awakening I had this year was, my goodness, I have to get rid of this PMI on my mortgage so my mortgage can be more affordable. And I just have to think about the loan and the taxes. And maybe you're in a similar situation where you've now gotten that bill and it's more expensive and you weren't aware that you could cancel your PMI. And I just want you to know a little tidbit really quick. You can cancel your PMI if your home value, and based off the loan amount that you have remaining, you have more than 20% equity. And it can be based off of the value of your home. So if you get an appraisal done, or with your lender, they send someone to appraise the home, which typically homes increase in value. You can take that new value of your home versus what you have remaining to pay. And if it's more than 20% equity, you can cancel your PMI. But I don't want to get stuck on that. The reality is that while the interest rates have just gone up on homes, the mortgages, due to Moody's downgrading the United States government, coupled with State Farm and Progressive and Geico and many of the other insurance providers going up on their rates, we're going into a very unaffordable future for many. It's already that millions upon millions of people are priced out of home ownership. And now we're moving further into it. And again, it was predictable because the asset prices have to keep going up. I mean, that's how you develop wealth in this country. The asset prices have to keep going up. So people want it. And now that the insurance companies are able to take advantage of, take care in word, but take advantage of homeowners and renters through devastation, it's a bad situation to attempt to afford a home. And just yesterday, I talked about the auto industry and how the prices in that realm are increasing, and we talked about the tariffs. So there's some real issues as we look forward with affordability. But it's said that the insurance companies are saying that it's just temporary. No, it's not. We know and they know that another devastation, and they come up with a similar excuse. We're still not able to take care of what we need to take care of from the previous devastation, so we need to go up once again on the insurance. I don't recall a time in my life where insurance has gotten cheaper. So, yeah, the increases are here. People already feel and are house poor or cannot afford a home. And so I get it. Yeah, you probably feel like a prisoner to the American dream, the dream that was sold to you. Go to college, find a husband or wife, get married, have kids, and live in that beautiful home. But it feels like a burden for so many people. But don't be discouraged. So I always want to make mention of that because, again, my conversations aren't to place anyone in a mentality of fear, but that everything's going to be just fine. You focus on your well-being, those that you love and you care about, and it will work out. If you do feel like a prisoner to your home, I just came across some information I talked about in my previous video of a family of 5 who felt house poor. So they moved out of the home that they owned. They started renting it out, and now they live in an apartment. And the rent that's being paid on their mortgage is financing their life as they live in an apartment, renting it. So there are many different things you can do if you own a home and you feel like it's a burden to you. Maybe you sell it. Maybe you rent it out. You downsize. There are just things you can do. So you have options, but don't let these narratives burden you. If you want to buy a home, even though the prices are going up and the insurance premiums are increasing, if you want to buy a home, you do that. There are always going to be economic issues. But if you want it, go for it. If you can afford it, do it. If you can't afford it at this time, don't do it and think about other things to do. But don't do it based on fear. So anyhow, please share your thoughts in the comment section regarding these insurance hikes. Maybe you own a home and you've experienced what I've recently experienced, which is the mortgage went up because the insurance went up. Or you want to buy a home, but you're just fearful because of all of the noise you hear, and you're questioning what you should do. Or you're that person who is grateful because you bought a home 20, 30 years ago, and now you've paid it off, and your cost of living is so low that you're now living the life you've always wanted to live. Everybody's situation is different. And that's the beautiful thing. We can all learn from each other. We can all learn better ways to do things that we are being told we shouldn't do. So anyhow, please share your thoughts in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. And before I let you go, I want to say this. I want to thank all of you who are supporting me and checking out my videos time and time again. I want to thank everyone who has donated to this channel, to the CashApp, QuietestOnes. I really appreciate that. it's work. You know, it's work, and I take it seriously, and I appreciate the time that you take to invest into listening when you probably have a chaotic, busy life and there's other things you could be doing. So I really appreciate your support. And with that said, as always, until next time.